GraphPad combines business forms with an easy-to-use 2D drawing capability to make calculating an estimate a snap. Simply sketch out your design, apply your dimensions, and by selecting the lines around a perimeter, GraphPad will calculate an area. If you apply a pattern with a unit cost, GraphPad will automatically calculate a total. The library also allows you to add unit costs for all your symbols. GraphPad will track the number of symbols you add to the drawing, multiply by a unit cost, and again add that to the total. GraphPad has a multi-page design. You can have lists of additional services. So for example, back up here, you can add a service, tab through. It'll add the service cost to the overall contract. At the end, the customer can then sign. You can also have additional pages for the agreement and the contract specifications. It will copy data over as appropriate, and again, have the customer sign on site. Now that's just one use case for GraphPad. GraphPad is generic, or is configurable, and so for example, customers can define their own tables. In this case, I've got an AB table which allows them to easily capture the dimensions around a perimeter. You can use the disto. Oops, have to actually select the field. It'll automatically populate the data, and then you can actually take another measurement and continue on around, etc. That's one example. In another case, you can have we'll go ahead and add both a summary table and a legend, which are two tables you can define. But I've defined symbols. The symbol is sized appropriately, and then you can actually have those symbols snap together. The symbol itself represents multiple components. So in this case, we have a double complete scaffold. It has 4 crossbars, 4 frames, and 4 foot pads. But as we attach onto it, we only have 2 frames on the other piece. The summary table will actually summarize the number of components for us as we add those to our drawing. And in yet another example, we can have mini forms, where basically to capture window measurements, we can add a form to our drawing. If we go into text mode, let's go ahead and zoom in on this. It actually tells us which measurements we have to capture. We can capture those with the disto again. And it will tab between the different fields. Everything I've demonstrated so far can be done by the user themselves. These are configurations which a user can actually do, or they can have me do them. So there's a lot of capability built into GraphPad, and it's really up to you to decide what features you actually need in order to complete your project. GraphPad, making engineering drawing easy.